Morgan Freeman is a name synonymous with gravitas, wisdom, and a voice that commands attention. But behind the calm smile and iconic presence lies a life shaped by struggle, sacrifice, and relentless perseverance. Before the Oscars, before the unforgettable performances, and before Hollywood celebrated his talent, Freeman endured decades of hardship few ever imagined. His journey to becoming a cinematic legend was not a smooth ascent. It was a path riddled with poverty, rejection, and societal barriers. Understanding his story means appreciating the resilience and strength required to reach the heights he now inhabits. Childhood shadows and early hardships. Born in 1937 in Mississippi, Freeman entered a world defined by poverty and systemic racism. Opportunity was scarce, and dreams were often considered impossible for a young Black boy. His early years were marked by instability, moving between relatives' homes and small apartments as his family struggled to survive. Yet within this difficult environment, Freeman developed a keen sense of observation. Every expression, every interaction, every hidden emotion became a lesson in humanity. These experiences, though painful, later shaped his ability to portray complex characters with unmatched depth and authenticity on stage and screen. Segregation and the limits of expectation. Growing up in the segregated South meant that Freeman faced obstacles invisible to those outside his world. Racism dictated where he could go, who he could interact with, and how he was perceived from birth. In a society that doubted his potential before he even spoke, acting was not just impractical, it was dismissed entirely. Friends, teachers, and strangers all echoed the same message. Acting is not a viable path for someone like him. Yet even in this climate of skepticism, the dream burned quietly within him. It became a silent rebellion, a refusal to let society's limitations dictate the life he would live. Discovering the stage school provided Freeman his first escape into imagination. Small performances offered him a taste of freedom, a rare space where he could transform into someone else entirely. In those moments, he experienced joy and liberation unlike anything in his daily life. Acting became more than a dream. It was a lifeline. Yet reality often forced him to suppress this calling. Survival, financial constraints, and societal expectations demanded compromise. Still, the allure of the stage never left him. Every whispered line, every imagined scene was a reminder that there was a life beyond the limitations imposed by circumstance and prejudice. Military service and the road not taken. With limited resources to pursue acting professionally, Freeman enlisted in the Air Force. He excelled, trained diligently, and fulfilled the duties expected of him. But even as he wore the uniform and followed orders, he felt a disconnect. The life he was living belonged to someone else. Every flight, every drill, every instruction was a reminder that his true calling remained dormant. Eventually, he made the bold decision to leave the military, choosing uncertainty over security. It was a gamble driven by passion, a commitment to a dream that had been dismissed by nearly everyone in his world. It was a defining moment in his journey, battling Hollywood's barriers. Returning to civilian life did not make the path easier. Freeman faced years of rejection, taking small roles in theater and film, while working low-paying jobs to survive. Hollywood, slow to recognize talent, often overlooked him. Casting directors couldn't see beyond narrow stereotypes, dismissing him as too old, too calm, or too serious. He was typecast and marginalized, his abilities underestimated time and time again. Each rejection was a test of resilience, a reminder of the barriers that existed not because of his lack of talent, but because of systemic biases. And yet, he persevered, refusing to let closed doors define his destiny. The power of patience and persistence. Freeman's journey underscores that greatness often comes on its own timetable. While other actors found early success, he continued to wait, honing his craft and seeking opportunities that honored his talent. His persistence transformed struggle into strength, shaping a performer capable of conveying depth, wisdom, and authenticity. Every moment of waiting, every hardship endured, became part of the foundation that would carry him forward. The world may have ignored him for decades, but he did not ignore himself. Freeman's story is a testament to the idea that resilience, patience, and self-belief can ultimately overcome even the most rigid barriers. Triumph through talent. Eventually, Freeman's relentless pursuit paid off. He earned roles that showcased the full breadth of his talent, moving audiences and critics alike. His voice became iconic, his presence unforgettable, and his performances lauded as masterful. Yet the triumph was sweeter because it was hard-won. It was not merely a result of talent, but of enduring the trials of poverty, prejudice, and professional rejection. Each accolade, each memorable role, represented a victory over the challenges that had sought to define and limit him. Freeman's success is a story of determination as much as it is of artistry, a legacy beyond fame. What makes Freeman's story extraordinary is not just his professional achievements, but the human spirit behind them. By refusing to give up, he became a role model for generations, showing that greatness is not determined by early recognition or societal approval. His legacy extends beyond film and television. It is a lesson in resilience, courage, and unwavering commitment to one's dreams. Freeman's life reminds us that the road to success is rarely linear or easy, but persistence and dedication can transform even the most difficult journey into an extraordinary triumph. Reflection at 88. At 88, Morgan Freeman carries a quiet wisdom that reflects decades of struggle and triumph. His calm voice and commanding presence are not merely gifts. They are the culmination of a life lived with perseverance, patience, and purpose. Behind the scenes, away from cameras and applause, he embodies the lessons of his journey: strength through adversity, dignity in the face of rejection, and the quiet confidence of someone who has earned every moment of success. His story reminds us that the true measure of a person lies not in immediate recognition, but in the courage to keep moving forward. The true story of a legend. Morgan Freeman's life is a narrative of pain, perseverance, and ultimate triumph. It is a story of growing up unseen, unheard, and underestimated, and yet refusing to allow circumstance to define him. He walked through hardship, poverty, and systemic racism to carve a path that few could imagine. His legacy is a testament to the power of resilience, the importance of believing in oneself, and the enduring truth that greatness often comes to those who refuse to quit. Freeman's journey is more than an inspiration. It is a blueprint for overcoming adversity and creating a life of meaning. Enduring inspiration. Morgan Freeman's life proves that the path to greatness is rarely fair, rarely smooth, and often invisible to the world. But through persistence, patience, and unyielding belief in himself, he became more than an actor. He became a symbol of hope and determination. Each role, each line, each performance reflects not just talent, but decades of struggle and resilience. His story reminds us that setbacks are not the end, and that the quiet strength to keep going, even when unseen, can lead to a legacy that transcends fame. Freeman's life is proof that the journey shapes the legend, and that perseverance can turn even heartbreak into extraordinary triumph.